So Google just dropped a massive update to Google Flow, and this is basically Flow 2.0. They added a brand new AI agent that can brainstorm ideas with you, handle multi-step tasks, batch edit your entire project, and lets you create very long videos. They also added Flow Tools, which lets you vibe code your own custom creative tools without writing a single line of code, and they also solve consistent characters in this update. So today I'm going to break down everything that's new in Google Flow and show you why this update just changed AI filmmaking forever. Alright, so to use the new features in this update, you'll first need to create a new project inside Google Flow. Once you open up the project, you're going to see a dashboard that looks something like this. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is the agent feature over here. If you click on this agent option, you'll be able to use a chatbot, but one that is specifically designed for content creation. For example, I can ask the chatbot something like, I want you to create 3 different images of a tree in 3 different art styles. The first one should be a 3D art style, the second one a 2D anime art style, and the third should be a clay animation art style. After I click on the run button, the agent will analyze my prompt and begin creating those 3 images. While it's working, the agent opens up inside a side panel, just like this. Now, before it actually generates a video or an image, it will ask you for permission. It might say, for example, would you like me to kick off this 3-image generation costing 0 credits? You can click here to manually approve the generation, or you can toggle this other button. If you enable that, the agent has free reign to generate whatever it wants without asking you first. Personally, I don't like leaving that auto approve button on. Sometimes the agent can go a bit wild, generate way too much content, and quickly burn through a lot of your credits. So I prefer to just manually approve things right here. Once we hit approve, the agent kicks off the image generation process. Alright, the agent has just finished generating all 3 images. The first one we asked for in the 3D art style has generated successfully, and as you can see, it genuinely looks like high quality 3D art. The next one we requested was the 2D anime art style. This image totally nails that anime aesthetic, and it looks incredibly beautiful. The agent even wrote a really detailed optimized prompt behind the scenes to generate this specific look. Finally, the last one is our 3D clay animation style, and this absolutely looks like an authentic stop-motion claymation image. Overall, this is an incredibly useful feature if you want to streamline your entire content creation workflow. Creating these images manually would have taken me significantly longer. I would have had to brainstorm and write out individual prompts for each specific style, and then run them one by one. Using the agent makes the AI content creation process so much faster and more intuitive. Now, taking it a step further, you can even ask the agent to turn a static image into a video. I'm going to type something like, hey, I want you to turn that 2D animation image into a 4-second long video using the Gemini Omni model. Let's run this prompt and see if the agent can successfully handle image to video generation right here in the panel. Okay, so once again, it's asking for my permission before proceeding. This time, because it's generating a video, it's going to cost 15 credits. I'll just go ahead and manually approve the video generation right here, and there we go. The agent successfully turned our static image into a video, and this is the final result it created using the Gemini Omni model. As you can clearly see, this agent is very powerful. One particular use case that I found really helpful is using it for longer generations, especially when you're trying to create explainer-type videos. At first, I mistakenly thought the Gemini Omni model could generate these long videos entirely on its own, but as you probably know, Gemini Omni is currently limited to making videos that are only about 10 seconds long. However, when you combine the agent with Gemini Omni, or the Veo 3.1 model, you can easily create much longer explainer videos. The agent has the ability to read through and fully understand your video script. From there, it can automatically create different scenes and stitch them all together for you. So automating explainer video creation is honestly a fantastic use case for this tool. Now, one issue you might run into is that the agent struggles to create stories with consistent characters. On its own, the AI still has a hard time keeping a character looking exactly the same from scene to scene. But to solve this, Google has added a brand new feature called characters. With this feature, you can essentially design a custom character that will stay perfectly consistent throughout all your different videos, and you can seamlessly integrate that character with your agent. You have the option to either upload an existing picture to use as your consistent character, or you can generate a brand new one right here. For this example, I'm going to write something something like, hey, I want you to create a hyper-realistic character of a medieval knight, making sure his face is clearly shown. The reason I specifically requested that his face be clearly visible is because a clear face makes it much easier for the AI to maintain consistency across future generations. So let's go ahead and generate the image first. Alright, so here's the image the AI model created. As you can see, the knight's face is shown perfectly clearly. The next cool thing here is that you can actually select a unique voice for the specific character by clicking on the Select Voice button right here. You'll see a wide variety of default voices to choose from, or you can just create a custom voice for your character from scratch. I'm going to create a new one and name it Medieval Soldier. Now, I need to describe the voice performance I'm looking for. I'll type something like Medieval Soldier, male, around the age of 25 years old, with a deep British accent from medieval times. One quick thing to note, even after writing out the voice performance and giving it a name, you still have to select a base voice to build upon. I'm going to select this Karen voice, which is a male, informative, and lower-pitched voice. We'll use this as our foundation and then hit save. Now let's apply this new male voice and officially add our character to the library. After adding him, I still have the option to write a little bit of background info. This is completely optional, but I'll just keep it simple and write, a very brave medieval soldier. Finally, we just click the Done button, and our consistent character is ready to use. To actually use this character in our upcoming images and videos, I just click the three little dots right here and select Add to Prompt. Now that he's linked, I can tell the agent, hey, I want you to create 3 different images of the specific character from different angles. Also, create a 4th image where the character is riding a horse. It's a pretty basic prompt, but it's a great way to test out how well the agent can keep our new character consistent. Alright, look at that. The agent seamlessly used our character and generated 3 images from 3 entirely different angles. As you can see, the facial features and armor stay completely consistent across all of them. It also successfully created the picture of our knight riding a horse, and the final result looks fantastic. From here, you could easily turn these into video clips, and the character would retain that custom voice we made across every single video. I won't generate those example videos right now to save time, but you get the idea. Anyway, let's move on to another new feature that I think is absolutely massive, the Tools feature. If you navigate over to this tab, you'll see a community library filled with different custom tools that people have created to help with AI filmmaking and content creation. You also have the power to create your very own tool. By clicking on the Create Tool button, you can design a highly specific utility tailored to speed up your personal workflow. But before we create our own, let's explore some of the existing ones. First up, let's look at the simple Sketch tool. With this tool, you can draw a rough concept on the canvas. Let's just draw a basic box for now, and it appears right here on the screen. After you sketch it out, you provide a text description. Since I've drawn a basic box, I'm going to describe it as a translucent box. Let's enter the prompt and see what kind of image the AI comes up with. Give it a second while the tool generates our image. Alright, here's what the model created. As you can see, it's not a pixel perfect match to our rough drawing, but it's definitely a fun feature with some neat creative applications. Now, while the Sketch tool might not drastically speed up your serious filmmaking workflow, there are other tools here that absolutely will, like the Image Editor tool. If you open up the Image Editor, you get advanced control over your generated images. Let me just import an image from our earlier session. I'll load up that picture of the 3D clay tree generated. Now, I have the choice to edit this manually. If I drag the blur slider up, the image gets naturally blurred. Can also tweak the saturation, which is incredibly helpful for color grading in AI filmmaking. I have full control over the contrast and the brightness too. These granular settings are just fantastic to have built in. Beyond color correction, I can even add a text layer directly on top of the image. But first, let me reset the brightness and just bump up the saturation a little bit to make the colors really pop, okay? Now let's jump into the text layer. I'll type out something simple like beautiful tree. Once that's typed, we can adjust the line spacing and letter spacing, which is super convenient for quick graphic design. I could change the font, but honestly, I really like how the default Google Sans font looks right here. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. There's a setting called Enable Depth. If you toggle this on, the AI analyzes the 3D depth of your 2D image. So if I increase the depth offset slider, It will literally place the text behind the main object in the foreground. This is such a powerful tool for AI filmmakers. It just looks so professional and cinematic. Being able to dynamically tuck text behind an object without opening up Photoshop or After Effects is a massive time saver. Overall, this image editor tool alone is just incredible for streamlining your production process. Browsing through the library, there are so many other powerful tools like Shot Explorer, Mask Magic, Type Overlays, and Shadow Fix. These are absolute game changers for fixing common AI generation glitches. Best of all, as I mentioned, you can build your own custom tools and publish them to the community. Over the next few months, as more creators add to this library, the tools feature is going to become an absolute goldmine for AI video creators. Let's go ahead and try creating our own custom tool now. I'm just going to build a very simple one right now for the sake of a quick demonstration. I'll give it a prompt like, hey, I want you to build a tool where I can upload any image, and the tool will automatically convert it into a clay animation style. As you can tell, it's a very straightforward prompt, but if it works correctly, it's going to be a brilliant utility to have on hand. Imagine finding any reference image on the internet, dropping it directly into this custom tool, and having it instantly restylize into stop-motion claymation without you ever needing to write out a complex prompt. In the future, we could easily expand this tool, adding drop-down menus to convert images into a 2D anime style, a 3D render, or even abstract art. Okay, the AI model has finished building our new tool. Let's test it out. I'm going to grab that image of the medieval knight we generated earlier with our agent. All I have to do is click on this new Generate Claymation button we just made. Behind the scenes, the tool is going to use Nano Banana Pro to process the original image and convert it directly into a clay animation. Alright, and there we go. The model has processed the image. Now, if I'm being perfectly honest, I wouldn't say this looks exactly like a flawless clay animation style, but it still looks quite good and definitely has that stop motion texture. The beauty of this system is that we can always go back and optimize our tool's backend prompt to get the exact flavor of claymation we want. I can tweak the text instructions or even feed the tool an image reference, ensuring it always outputs that precise aesthetic moving forward. Overall, all of these new features are incredibly impressive. I can confidently say that these tools will absolutely revolutionize my personal filmmaking workflow, allowing me to produce high-quality AI content so much faster. That's going to wrap it up for this video though. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.